good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is. I'm glad you're here. So, last video, I showed you my stash, my snacks and my stash I got from Bestie, and started working on the holder for all of my goodies. So I want it to hold my scrap supplies, as well as the finished items that we'll be making. So we folded the pages, got those all set to go. Now next, I want to decorate them some so that they make sense with the theme that our bestie picked for me. My bestie picked. So I had to think I need a cover, and I found this. So this is going to be turned into our cover because I think it's perfect with the roses and everything. We can add some more stuff to the cover if we want. Here's the back side, also perfect, I think, for kind of the gothic theme that will be happening. I also pulled some stencils that I thought would fit the theme a little bit, kind of going off of the scraps that she gave me. I kind of went and did found like a mood board to kind of stay with the theme. And I pulled some washies that I thought would also fit. Like these are some with like architecture and stuff. So I thought that would be kind of cool. So I grabbed those. But first, we're going to get started on these pages. So I'm going to set some stuff off to the side here so that it is not in the way. And we are going to start getting these done and sorted out. And when I say sorted out, I mean like not sorted as in ready for their next step, because we need to make them a little bit more fun and a little bit more pretty. First off, I kind of want to have an order. So I have 8 pages here. 8 is definitely going to be enough, I think. Including we'll have the inside of the cover back and front to put things as well. So we'll have plenty of pocket space. Right now, each one of these pages has at least 2 pockets of some sort in them. Some have like an extra little tucky spot and things. So I'm thinking order, and I'm trying to think of how many signatures. I'm thinking since there's 8 pages, we'll do 2 at a time, because I think that will lend itself really well to what our plan is, or what my plan is for everything. So I'm trying to think which ones are going to look best together and fit best with how they fold. So I'm thinking this is nice. This could be interesting. So if we're putting them into like double signatures, lots of plain space in there for things, but nice, smooth. I like this for the front if we're going to open it up from those roses and like this castle, church, whatever, the architecture. So that'll be for signature, I think, if we put 2 in at a time. I want to give this lots of room, is what I'm thinking. So that's 1. Now let's find what we're going to look at on the back, because that, oh, well, perfect. This will be our back, because we'll see that in the back when we get to it. So this will be the back then. So then we need to find a pocket friend to go in here. So who wants to join this party? What is next? That looks nice together color-wise. That looks nice together color-wise. Fun pockets there. Okay, so that's going to be the last signature. So we have our first and our last, and we need to figure out our next 2. So these have these really thick, intricate pockets. I might have to change one of these friends up a little bit. So this can be in the inside, because this is smooth. Having a pocket there might be nice, like that. So if we put that toward the back, and it'll look nice with that. So then what, we'll put one of these guys on the inside. How about, oh, that's kind of, that looks nice. That also, oh, that looks nice. Let's do that one. And maps, and we got all that. Okay, and that looks good there. Okay, so that's nice. There. So that means these 2 friends. Well, I might swap out with this text one. and have that be different so that we don't have two of the same in the same signature. So who wants to go inside here? I think this one looks nice. That goes well like that and like that. Yes. Okay. So I like that better. All right. And then that means let's do you, and that's going to work well. And then this one, because I did kind of want to break this up a little bit too. So then that'll be in there, and then that'll be like that. That'll be like that. Okay. So that, and then that. All right. So we have the order of events here. Now we need to make them more interesting. And first off, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink the edges of these, because sometimes just doing that will start to make things come together. So we're going to ink everybody in the same colors. So our color scheme is going to be blacks and grays. I just realized my stool is off, so I'm kind of like off center. All right, so that being said, I want to ink the edges of everything. So that is what I'm going to do next. So I have some scrap paper to start inking, and I am just going to ink, ink, ink. That's the plan. And what do I want to ink with? So I know I'm doing blacks and grays. So I got, these are going to be the options. I might, because I'm going to, I think, use some color sprays and do some stenciling later on. But first we're going to start with this. So I am just going to start inking all the edges of everything. That's my first step in the process. So I will probably, I'll do one, and then I will probably cut my everything here. And just come back in after I've got everything inked. So I'm just going to start with that. I'm going to ink the edges on everybody, because that's going to be my first step, because I know I want to do that. Some of this is not going to show up. I know these pages are a little glossy, but I'm okay with that. This is for me. So this is one of those things, and I rarely get to make stuff specifically for myself, which is probably why this is like the funnest time for me, is because it's for me. I keep these things. These are the things that stay with me, and they become a part of my collection. You know what I mean? Whereas other times, or most of the time even, I'm making things to either give away or sell, or commission pieces and things like that. So it's a little bit different. And yes, I'm going to hit the spine on these guys too. I'm going to double check and make sure we don't need any reinforcement. This paper is pretty darn sturdy, so I'm not really worried about it. So that is what I am doing here to start with. And I'm going to make sure every edge that is going to be visible is going to get some sort of ink happening to it. So that's what we're doing. And that'll start making this already. You'll see when it's done, it's already going to start adding some interest to everything as we go. All right, so I'm going to show you what we got after I've complete this step. I'm going to tidy my mess here, get you caught up on what I've done so far, because I've done a fair amount, actually. I kind of got in the zone, so I was working on things. So as you can see, I've done some stenciling. So first off, I distressed the edges, added ink. Rabbit's out, he's making some noise. Distressed, added inks to all of the edges of all of the pages in either hickory smoke oxide, or I used an archival ink black, and I used a little bit of black soot as well. So then I went back in afterward, after I did that, and I started adding some stenciling here and there. So stenciling, I did just here. I took one of the stencils after I'd used it to spray, and I did the reverse on that because I was a mask. Another big stenciled area there. Nothing really on that side. I added this feather here, and here's the butterflies that I used on that other side. Big one there with some sprays. Same here with the leaves. And then, yeah, a slightly different technique on these. So spray and then brushing across the stencil. So just to give some different variety. So here I have like a brick wall stencil. Not too much on the inside. Here we go. This, I use the reverse side of a stamp or a stencil. So once this had spray on it, then I took it and I laid it down on here to make those designs. So kind of amorphous background texture. Nothing really there. Nothing really there. So everything didn't get big stencil, but I did kind of work on some of the spots here and there just to kind of give them some more interest. And then I started, as you can see on this one, I added a few stamps here and there. So now I'm going to go through and do that same thing with that same stamp and hit a page or two here and there in each one of these. So basically, and I'll kind of talk about what I'm thinking and what the plan is, because this is helping draw everything together and make it feel more cohesive. So I'm just going to use some archival, and this is a Tim Holtz stencil or stamp. Oh my goodness, words apparently this morning. So I'm just going to start adding a little bit here and there just to kind of give it, that's too bulky. It's fine that that happened, but I need a little more space to work on the stuff. Rabbit is in a mood today, but that is okay. So let's see if we can't get that on here again. There we go. That's going to be better. Yes. Okay. And so I'm just going to throw some little designs here and there on things. And this is kind of like a really nice print. I like that. So just here and there, I'm going to add some of that. It dries pretty fast. If it smudges onto another page, I'm not overly worried. So next one. And that's basically what I'm going to do. So I'm going to add some stamping. Just here and there, just to add a little bit more interest. Like I said, I'm not overly decorating this. I just want it to be a little bit more interesting and make it more cohesive overall. So doing that to all of your pages, adding the same elements throughout can help things go together a little bit more. And as it kind of gives a nod to the other pages, and we can see how the same themes will start to go through the whole thing. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through, I've got a few other stamps that I'm going to add here and there as well. And just make this a little bit more interesting. I might add a couple of note sections. Like this could be an easy spot to write. This is going to be like a little hidden journaling spot within this. But yeah, that's pretty much the plan, is just to add some more interest. And then what I'm going to probably do is sew some of these pockets down. I'm going to glue some of the flaps. Wow, you're full of beans this morning, Mr. Man. Full of all of the beans. I just really love this stamp too. It's so pretty. All right, so that's pretty good. So I'm gonna use a few more. I'll show you the ones I'm gonna use probably. So these are some more by Tim Holtz. I don't remember what they're called. I'm sorry if you're wondering. But these are the ones that come in the little packs with usually a stencil as well. So it's a stencil and then a stamp set. And I love them because they're so versatile. So I have this one I'm going to use a little bit. This one because it has this big rose design. So some roses, there's some more text. There's like my favorite saying. My favorite saying, which is definitely going in here. So you're allowed, here, I got to read it. So it's hard to read it on the plastic. This is one of my favorite sayings. You are allowed to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress simultaneously. So that is going in here. I might have one spot where that is going to be highlighted because that is one of my very favorite sayings. So anyway, I am going to not do most of this on camera because it's going to take a while. I also have some birds. I might do a little bit more stenciling. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bunch of embellishing with the stamps, adding some things into here just to make it a little bit easier before I get this all sewn together. So two things. I'm going to add stamping. There's more than two things actually. So I'm going to add stamping to kind of get this thing, all the signatures, because we have 4 little signatures that are 2 pages a piece, to make them a little bit more cohesive. I'm probably going to find a few pieces of large lace or fabric to add some other big pockets on here that I'm going to sew on. And then I am going to work on the cover. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the cover quick before I turn my camera off and crank some tunes or listen to my book and get a bunch of work done. So this is going to be our cover. I'm going to measure it. In fact, maybe I'll start breaking it down here first before I get going. So I'm going to take it off of the spine. That is first and foremost what we're going to do. So I just need my blade. This isn't the greatest of blades, but here we are. And I'm going to use my big ruler. So first off, I'm going to cut the spine off of this. It is not very neat and tidy anyway. This book was obviously damaged. I already took the pages out of it for use in other ways. Is that going to be? In fact, watch. I can just, oof, that is so like, there we go. There's the spine off, I guess. So I don't even have to worry about that too much. So let's get the rest of it off here. Just took my fingernail and was able to just cut through that just about here. So there's our spine off. And now the only thing holding it together are these fly leaves. The fly leaves, which so we're going to cut these off, and then probably I'm going to take a look and see what size we got going on to see what's going to be best for the rest of our book. All right, so I'm going to clean these up a little bit. I will cut them down to the proper size. You can go up here too, because I will use that in something else as well. All right, so then what we need to do is we need to look at the size. So the size for our pages is 7.5 by 9.5. So we go up a little bit taller, but not, I think, maybe I'll keep it at 9.5. I don't mind if the pages stick out just a little titch. Or maybe I'll just make it a hair larger. Instead of 9.5, maybe I'll make it 9 3/4, and then also the same the other way. So our spine is going to go in here too. So I have to look and see how big my 7.5 is going to be if I leave it right at that. So I think what I'm going to do is go to 8. I'm going to go to 8 wide. Is that still going to fit in my bin? That's what I need to check, because that is our goal. It has to fit in our bin. 8 inches will definitely still fit even with a spine on there. So that is what we're going to do. Chaos monster, that is me. Doodly-doo. So I think, yeah, cutting from there, we're gonna have a rough edge on the outside. That's all right. probably going to add some more fun stuff there anyway. But let's see if we can't get this nice and cleaned up and go from there. Nice, even, straight. Not sure what the best is to get that. I feel like I can almost just cut it with the scissors right on that line. Maybe. It's because there's multiple layers here, and it's the inside is sturdier than this plasticized stuff on the outside. So maybe I can just run this blade around here. Then I'm going to find something for our spine. I'm thinking of doing either a rounded spine or something. Okay, so that's great. That is totally fine. Not sure exactly what I'm doing yet on the spine, but we're going to make it happen pretty quickly. It's got to get done today. But yeah, I'll probably measure from the inside of this. So what have we cut it down to? So now we're at 8. So it's just a little bit too big. Because then if we add a spine, maybe I can leave this edge and I can just take a little bit down on the back, and then we'll keep this edge the same. Biscuits. Now I'm on the fence. Like, which edge do I want to leave? Still needs to come off by 1/4 of an inch. At least. It needs to come down a little bit. So, yep, it's going to be fun. And by fun, that's sarcasm for I'm not a fan. That's what that is. Sarcasm. For I'm not a fan. Okay, if I look at the back side, that'll be easier. Let's do this. Let's cut the end off first, because then we'll have less length to go. So which part we're going to cut off the top, I know. So that only needs to be, I have to be careful. So this ruler has an extra 1/2 inch on the edge because it's a sewing ruler. But I love this ruler, and it works really great because I like to be able to see what I'm doing. So that's 9.5 from the end to there. So I think I will cut off this end first. So this is, how big are you? You are 11.25. And then we need to take it down by, so 11.25, math today, 11.25, and we need to bring it down to 9 and 3/4, I think. Give us 1/4 of an inch, or 1/4 of an inch spacing would be good for height wise. So, and now I'm wondering, double check, where's my little purple? 9.5. Okay, they are 9.5. So that leaves us, so 11.25. So 10 5/4. So 2/4. So 1.5 inches. So we need to break this. We need to shorten it by 1.5 inches. So 1.5 inches from the top edge, which is, this is why I like this ruler, because then I can just put 1.5 inches here, like so. Make sure we're all squared up with the edge we want squared up to. And now I'm going to just cut this. So I might need a different blade. I also wish I had like a little craft bandsaw. Like, I feel like that would be like perfect for some of these things. Do any of you guys have something like that? A little craft bandsaw you can just turn on and zip through things? Although this is cutting pretty easy today. You just have to make sure when you're doing this, you have a nice steady hand. Okay, that's one down. Let's double check, make sure our measurements are good. All right, beautiful. So yes, I like that height. That height is perfect. That height is perfect. And then, yeah, I am going to take this down a little bit on this side for sure. Okay, so that's basically what I'm going to do with that. So I'm going to do this, cut this down, top edge, same here, so that, and I'm going to look at this to see which part. Which part will I lose? If I do the top again, I'm going to lose, oh, just a tiny bit of that. I think I'm okay with that. I'll just do the top again. And then I'll lose a little bit on this side, which is fine. Kind of don't want to lose the roses on this side, but I think it's okay. We're going to make it a little bit more goth, I think, too. This would be nice as a front cover as well, to be honest. But that's all right. All right, so that's the plan. Stamping, cutting these down. Then I will grab some more supplies, show you where we're at. Sew pockets, glue pockets. I'm going to be rocking and rolling a bunch. Let me know in the comment section if you like it when I break down videos this way, or if you would prefer to see the entire process, even if it's like fast forwarded. Just let me know, because I'm never quite sure what people want to see. Do they want to see the whole process? Do they want to see steps? That kind of a stuff. I'm winging it with this. I didn't have a specific plan, so it's kind of one of those things where I decided I wanted to make a thing, so now I'm making a thing. So now I'm going to go make the thing and come back and show you how far I've gotten in next steps. Okay? Okay. Here we are. I'm going to show you where I'm at with these before I move on to the next step. So you saw some of the stenciling before. Now I'm going to go kind of do a little flip through of what we have going on so far, because I have added some stamping in some various, kind of to give it a more like gothic and tie it all together so the pages make more sense too, which is kind of the goal. So some stamping, some little ravens, some interesting print. And then I kind of decided to do some little bats, little bats across here. There's a fence, some roses. So you'll see those roses a bunch throughout. And then have our tuck spots. So there's the first little signature with some additions there. Now this is all set here. I'm really happy with how it's looking so far. So just a quick little page through. These were just kind of fun. Some extra little, kind of looks like old wallpaper, kind of a situation, other little flippies, adding those roses again. Some of them I didn't do too much to, just a little bit here and there, just to kind of give it some more background interest, because basically this is, like I said, it's going to be made to hold other stuff. So, but I wanted to have it be fun because it's for Dephemerember. Little birdie again there. Another one of these kind of pages. So I like the big side tucks that I have going on. And then this is really fun. So this is a full little flip out. I think I'm going to trim the edge down so the bird isn't cut off right here. So I might trim the edge of this just slightly. Haven't decided yet what the plan is. And then this is a little secret journaling spot, or I can tuck something else in there. I liked how this one turned out. I hope you guys can see it, because I know this paper has a little bit of a gloss to it. So, but there's a little chair that has a bird, and then I added a couple more birds, and then some little bats, and then another bird over here. And then the back, I just did some of the rose stamps there too. So next, what I'm going to do is I am going to glue down some of the flaps that need, because I have these reinforced edges. So those will all get glued down. So I'm going to glue those down. I am going to grab this. You will see what I did on the cover. It's currently drying, so I'm going to pull that out later. So that'll be a little bit later in the video here. But I have this big, wide, really stretchy lace. So this is going to get added onto a page to be a big tuck across, or maybe I'll stitch it right to the edge. I need to find the right page for it. I have some red lace that I also might make like a little belly band, or I might do across a pocket, like just down a strip on here and sew it on first, just to give it some other interest, because I'm thinking I have those charms and stuff that we need to have storage someplace. So I thought either a scrap of fabric or some lace so that we can pin those on for another way to have them for storage. This is a page that might take well to one of these big friends here, like this. That could be nice, like that. So maybe I'll do that on a couple of them to add on these big pages, to add some pockets. Yeah, I will probably be adding some lace here and there, because I have these, this black and red, which is really pretty. And then some red and some black. So I'm going to find some places for these two. Oh, that would be really pretty too. That would be pretty. That would be very pretty. As a nice big pocket. So I will probably be doing a couple of those on some pages. So we have some nice big spots, or maybe even one across the bottom. Although this could be nice. I like that. I'm not as fond of this one. I do like this quote on the bottom here, but maybe I'll just make it a little shorter and stitch it from here and up. I don't know yet what I'm doing. This, I think I might make another big pocket here. So maybe I will do that. Just do a couple this way, do a couple up and down. I don't have a ton of that lace, but I do want to add it in, maybe a big belly band one this way. Could be fun, because that's pretty. I'll do that. That might be what we do. Maybe do it all the way across. I will think on that. Okay, so that anyway is the next step, is gluing down some flaps, like glue this down, gluing down those bits, and then I'm going to be taking and I'm going to use the sewing machine to put these pockets on. So that's going to be the next course of action for everything, and I'm hoping I can get most of this finished today. This has been an all-day process with everything. I love it. This is my favorite. This is my favorite kind of stuff to do. So I think I'm just going to start knocking it out here, getting it done. So let's rock and roll. So I got those glued down. I have a few of the elastics, or that elasticy lace, ready to go and get sewn on. So I'm going to do some of the sewing. I might grab a couple of my pre-made belly bands that might match this. I might have one or two that will look good, or grab a couple pockets that are ready to go that I can whack onto these pages too. So that'll be the next step. So that's what I'm going to do next. So to the sewing machine. So next stage is all set. So worked on some on the cover, and then I worked on the signatures here. So let's look at the signatures first. show you what we got going on. So I stitched edges to hold pockets down, added a few little things. There's a big tuck spot here. I didn't add anything to this page because I wasn't quite sure, because I really like the bats there. So we can always add some stuff later if we want to. Here's this other big pocket. So we have pocket here, and an up tuck here. So lots of options. Same with this one as well. So that's the first signature. So that one is all set, ready to go. Then this friend, same. This needs to get glued. So I think as I go through here, I'm going to just take care of those spots right away, and then it's done. And then it'll give it a minute or two to dry while I work out everything with the signatures and getting them into the journal. Now I could have sewn this edge, but I decided not to, just since it was one of these roll down kind of tuck situations. So this one is just here, holding it closed. Okay. And then let's open. Okay, so here's the next. So I'm going to move these extra ones at the moment as I go through and show you what we did, what I did. So I'm thinking this friend needs, I'm going to make this into a big belly band. It could use some more decoration, but I'm thinking I might do that later on as we go through. But I am going to go ahead and add a little bit of lace to this, and I don't know if I want to do over top or under. I feel like the red is nice. Otherwise, let's look at the black and red really quick and see. So I was working on this so much last night that I finally had to tell myself to stop. But it was nice. It was good. Let's do this way. Oh yeah, that's pretty. Let's do that. And where are my other scissors are over on the table. That's okay. We got extra scissors. So this one's going to go here like so. So let's get this friend glued on really quick. It's pretty. Add some interest. I can always add some more stuff later. All right, so that one is good. So let's pull that. I think I might have another one that needs to go. This side is all good. I ended up sewing all the way around this because I sewed in this big pocket here on that side. So that side's good. That one's good. So this page is good. Set you over there, friend. Now I'm thinking this is going to go on this side. Or we could do, let's do something a little different. What does the other side of this look like? So this sits here. Yes, let's put this one on the top. And yes, this can get a bunch of decoration and stuff yet. And I can carry on with that later. So I am not going to be super worried about that because I have literally spent so much time on this friend that I have got to get rocking and rolling. I've been having a blast doing it, of course, but now I want to make sure. So I think I'll do like an upward corner tuck on this. If I can get this to, come on. Getting down to the end here. So I'm gonna do the top edge and the corner. I think that's gonna be the best bet. But I also, let's glue this down a little bit. Sometimes these little flaps can get caught on papers. And then this can get like a little tabby and a little charm. I was originally going to put it on the bottom, but obviously I have changed my mind with that. But that can get inked, get distressed a little bit. I also thought it was a nice big fun pocket. We can do a paper clip closure. We can do a little tabby closure or something like that too. So that one is drying. And then this side also needs some glue on it. So right here to hold this bit down. And yes, I know this whole thing flips yet, but it's going to get stitched down when I stitch it into the book. So I am okay with that at the moment. It's totally fine. So these are done. So this is going to get set aside to dry as well. Since we got 4 glue spots on this one. So that is over there. Okay, next. This one I thought was super fun. So this is one of my big envelopes. I thought it was good for the colors that we have happening. And then this is a pocket here. And then this is a big tuck on this side. So we can tuck in bigger sheets or whatever on that. But big sturdy envelope that I fastened on there. This is good here. Big tuck on this side, stitched around. Same stitched here. So we have double pocket down here. Then on this is also getting a belly band. Now this is a really fun belly band, and that it is specifically designed to hold scraps. I don't know if I have a tutorial on how I've made some of these, but I've made a bunch and they're really, really cute. So maybe I will get into that or show that again at a later date. However, this either needs to get glued down. So that's going to slide in from that side. Okay, so I'm going to glue this down here. One of my little, these are from envelopes, and I have a tutorial where I've shown how I make these cute little pockets. This one has always been a little bit too big to fit into most of my journals because it was made from a bigger envelope. So it's just a little bit too big for most of them. So this is nice that I finally get to use it. And I love this paper so much that I used on it. So now we have a big double pocket here in our colors, since we're supposed to be doing a lot of black in this journal, or for this Dephemerember, I should say. I guess this is technically a little junk journal, but it's more of like an ephemera holder more than anything else. All right, so that one's done. This is getting this pocket here, so this can get set to dry as well. And now this friend, I'm gonna do a big, this is gonna be a corner. So I'm doing here on this side. So I kind of laid these all out on how I wanted them to be. And then this goes here. Like so. Okay. And then back side is fine. Okay, so this friend needs to dry as well. Now our last little signature. So this big pocket, I'm going to center right in the middle here and just make it a big pocket. So this is, now I could ink this ahead of time, but I'm not going to. I'm going to ink it later because I just really want to get this going, because I can add some other extra embellishments later, probably throughout the course of Dephemerember as I go. This nice line here on the bottom to follow. Perfect. Although I just realized I think this is one of my pockets that I don't glue. So I fold up a bunch of these ahead of time. So I kind of already do compartmental making, and I have for a long time, but I'll make a bunch of different types of bases, and then I can pull them for my journals and then decorate them to match. Or if I'm feeling whimsical, I just want to do something, I can just pull them. I didn't add any pocket here because I'm thinking if I find something clear later on, I would like to just make a big pocket over maybe the whole page or just this water section or something like that. So I didn't add anything extra here. And I don't think there's anything extra here. This did turn out really nice, and that this became a really good hidden journaling spot or whatever. So then that's sewn. And we have this pocket on the back. So nice lacy pocket here, this tuck, and then the back, of course, is all good to go. So now we have the rest of our things glued in. So we need to prep, and I will talk about our cover really quickly here too, because that is next. And then I'll have to try and make sure I got all these pages back in their correct order. So that's going to be fun. Although I think I have the idea of what it is. Okay, so these I cut down. I started showing you the process. So I cut down the top edge on both pieces and then the side to give me the right width. Then you can see the lace is here already because I layered up some stuff. It's been heavily glued and drying overnight. And then this has a piece of heavy duty interfacing, because that's what I had. So this has heavy duty interfacing in here. This is where our signatures are going to go. This same material, because I had a few scraps of this I thought was appropriate for this journal, is also in here. So you can kind of see a little skull head poking out on the back side, but it's not like overly obvious. Then I layered the lace, and that's all really well glued down here. Spine is ready to go, and now we're ready to go in here. So I'm gonna make a quick little grid, I think, because I know how wide this is, and then I can mark the holes for the signatures, so, and get those going. So I'm gonna pause here for a minute while I get all that stuff together. I made this template, so I cut it to the width that I needed. It ended up being a little bit on the small side, but that's okay, because I'm going to just eyeball it in so that it's even, because I forgot it, I left ease in for these to open and close. So if you'll see, if I open this, then it fits perfectly in there. So I am just going to line this up as best I can. And if it's off a teeny bit, it's not gonna matter. Nobody's gonna know. Now I'm going to clip this in place, hopefully, because I want it to be nice and straight. So I don't want it to move as I am doing this, because I'm going to punch those holes. So I have little binder clips that I'm using, top and bottom. It's just hard to pick this up and keep it even and not moving. But we got it. We got it. And I need my foam board, and this doesn't look like it's laying as flat as I wish it to be. So let's fix that quick. So I want it nice and flat and taut and straight. And it could be because this is a little bit, there we go. Okay, so I have foam underneath here, which is going to help. So I'm going to go ahead and punch these. So I have it all. And what I'm going to do this as a 5 stitch here. And I have marked my lines as close to the middle as I can, because I have 4 signatures. I wanted to give them even space. So we're going in the middles of these. Now, hopefully, those are going to be all good to go. Let us hope that our holes are big enough that we can get in. If not, I can always, at our template, we can look at it again. So that is ready to go. Sometimes it can be hard to find those holes in the paper or the cover. Now next, marking the signature. So I'm going to take this because I know where my lines need to be. So this is what I'm going to do. I am going to fold this in half, because that is going to tell me exactly where, no, I want it on one of the actual lines. So let's hope I can get those lined up pretty even. So it's, I should have done that a little differently, but hey, it is what it is. So I think I'm just gonna fold this in half as neat as possible. And I will still be able to use this grid. Since I had an even number, it turned out to be a little bit weird with everything, and that's fine. It's gonna be just fine. I am not worried about this, because it's the spacing that matters, and the spacing on these is going to be the same all the way along. So next, let's get our signatures ready to go. Everything should be dry. All right, let's do not the first one. Let's do the last one, and then it's ready to go. So you'll get to see how I get these stitched in, and then I'll probably just either fast forward or come back in a little bit after I finished it. So same here, and I haven't decided if I'm going to trim off this extra yet down here. We'll see what it looks like when it's in the journal. All right, that is pretty even. Now next I have here, this is a book that I use as my signature cradle. I know you can buy fancy ones. I would love one day, but this works really good. You can see it. This is what I use it for regularly. So here is our signature and how it's going to sit in here. Do I want to clip these together? I don't think I need to. So what I'm doing is I'm going to push these down in here so that they're nice and tight. I'm going to put this signature, oh, I didn't think about height. Okay, so I'll line it up as best I can so it's centered. Okay, that should be pretty good. And now, since I have it where I want, I've kind of pushed my fingers down into it. I'm gonna go in the lines where everything is already. And I'm just going straight down in each spot. All right, so that one is good to go. Now, I forgot to prep my needle. I have this, this is the thread I'm going to use. This is just a regular, like embroidery floss, but I love variegated, and I thought in these colors it was great. So, and we have issues in here, of course we do. Now I'm just gonna do a kind of, I don't know what this stitch is called. It's not a pamphlet stitch. This is gonna be different. Just because I know that this is gonna be like holding probably slightly heavier things. I do think one layer is gonna be fine because I'm gonna double it. So I'm gonna start at the bottom, go up, and then come back down again to tie it off at the bottom. And I might change where I put those knots throughout as well. So first off, I'm gonna get this started here, like so. Move this front out of the way. Move this front into the picture. So let's see, hopefully this is gonna be the challenge with this as well, as making sure that I can find my holes. So there's the first one. That was easy peasy. Probably not gonna go as planned the rest of the time. Now, with this, I'm going to clip this friend on here so I don't lose my end or pull it too far. Now I'm going to go up to my next hole. And this is going to be tricky. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see these very good. Oh, I can. At least this first one. All right. So that's up there. Making sure nothing's tangling. And then into the signature. So you can see how this kind of starts to go. Now, this is going to be a little trickier because I'm going to come back down again. So I need to make sure that I am utilizing everything appropriately and not crisscrossing threads, stabbing them, anything like that. So back down the way we came. Okay, now we're gonna tie this off. I'm gonna tighten it up first. But I don't want it too tight is the other thing too, because we want to have a little bit of give. And right now, these friends are a little tight. Now it's a little too loose, so let's figure out what we need to do here. So I'm going to pull this one, pull that one, okay, that one. Once it gets tied, I think it'll be good, because I want it to have a little bit of give, but like I said, evenly. So I hope you're seeing kind of see how much it's wiggling up here. So that's a little loose. That one's probably okay. That one's probably okay. So I think what I need to do is give this, yeah, that's a little loose there. There we go. Now we should be good to go. Yes, I think so. And now I'm going to tie this off here. Trying to hold it and get it tight enough at the same. It's a little looser probably than I would normally like, but I'm okay with that. And I might leave this a little bit long for now. I'll just cut it where the other tail is. That way I can add stuff if I want to later on. All right, is this going to be enough for the next one? I hope so. It'll be fine, I think. So let's go ahead and move on. So I'm going to do the next one now. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these holes. Okay, yeah, that's a little loose. It'll be fine. We'll just make the next one a little tighter. I'm going to make these holes a little bit bigger so it's a little bit easier to get. All right. Oh my goodness. What do we think? So I'm sure that there will be a few other little things that I do on this friend. But yeah, this, I think it turned out great. What do you guys think? And I'm thinking here, I might add like a sheet of plastic or something. I'm not sure quite exactly how I will do that. I've got space to stitch in something else if I needed to. So I was just thinking about storage for a couple other things too. So this might get some modifications. So this is like first go round at this type of ephemera binder kind of journal situation. So I will see. I mean, it'll be a good trial to see what works, what doesn't work, if it needs modifications in the future, if I like it, if I hate it, you know. So it's all about experimenting and seeing. But I think this has plenty of space in it for storage. So the next bit will be me putting everything in here and getting it super organized with all of our goodies that will then eventually get put into or used during Dephemerember. So I think I am going to kind of cut these a little. Just a little. They're pretty rough looking, like uneven. I don't mind if stuff looks rough, but I don't like uneven roughness. Silly. And I'm still don't know about that black sticking out on the bottom. We'll see. But this does fit in my basket that I created. So Also, this is going to be interesting to see. I did a very different style of binding because it was worth it to try. I used different adhesive than I have used previously just to see how it will go. So this will also be like an experiment on some things in that regard as well. So that'll be good. And who knows, I might decide that this was like not a great idea of how to do this. But now then I'll know for the future. So there you go. So that is where we're leaving this right now. I hope you enjoyed this. And like, see, I'm seeing other things I want to do. Like I want to put black paint on the edge here. So probably as Dephemerember goes on, I will do some embellishing because it's probably going to get some of the things that we're going to be making in our prompt list too. So I'll probably be putting, like, the first thing is tabs. So yeah, we might be making our page tabs for this thing so we can keep it organized for the rest of the month of December, and get to jazz up some things and see how everything goes. So next time you see this, it's already going to be looking quite a bit different because I think I'm going to go ahead and put that paint on the top edge, and I'm going to start organizing and filling my pockets up with some things. So I'm going to get our scraps. My scraps that I got from Bestie are going to be added into here. And yeah, so that's what will be next on the agenda. Okay, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave me a comment. I love to hear from you guys. And don't forget, art with your heart. You never know what you can make. Have a great day. Bye.